Everybody mute your.
Thank you for joining Life Empowerment, the Safe House, a ministry of healing and deliverance. Bishop Moreland Gibbs, along with Lady Chandra Gibbs, are so excited to have you join in today's worship service. Our vision is to prepare and mature families socially, economically, and spiritually, declaring the Word of God with an unforgettable praise and worship experience. We will seek to fulfill this calling through corporate worship service, which will prepare sons and daughters of Zion to excel from glory to glory, effectively instilling the teachings of Christ and the work of the Holy Spirit. And our mission is to go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Ghost, teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you, and lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world. Amen. Matthew 28, verses 19 through 20. Well, it's time for our virtual worship encounter. Say hello, like, love, and share.
Where you're encouraged to strive. What's waiting on inside of you? You will become brand new. At the safe house. At the safe house. At the safe
Good morning, good morning. Good morning, family. How are y'all doing?
Good morning. Good morning, good morning, Life Empowerment, Safe House, and friends.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome,
Good morning.
Javias. Good morning, Brittany.
Good morning.
Good morning, Cheryl. How are you doing? Mrs. Gibbs, how are you doing?
Good morning. Good morning. Come
And
on
we
in,
see
everybody.
you doing double duty.
Come on in, everybody. Like, love, and share. Let
Good
everybody
morning,
know we're
Pastor
on.
Treyarch. Good morning, good morning.
Good morning, Willinda.
Good morning, Kim. How are you? Hi, Tower. Good morning to you as well.
Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Witherspoon.
Good morning. Tell everybody we're on.
Yes, like, love, and share. We are on this morning.
Good
And
morning,
we are live.
Elijah.
Yes. Good morning, good morning. You're seeing two different faces this morning.
Good
But
morning,
nevertheless, God is
Natasha.
good.
Good morning, Prissy. Good morning. God bless you.
Good morning, Medisa. It was great seeing you last weekend.
Yes. Good morning, Jennifer. Good morning, Maxine. Good morning, Elder Taft. Good morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey,
Good
Deacon
morning,
Travis. Hey, Elder Washington.
Good morning,
Good morning.
Pastor. We got to say Pastor now.
Pastor
Say
Lady
Pastor.
Chan.
Pastor Lady. I love it.
Pastor Lady Chan.
Good morning, y'all.
Good
Hi,
morning.
everyone. Hey, Purdy, good morning. I saw
Good morning.
Medisa. I saw Kim. Good morning, good morning.
Yes.
Bishop is driving, so I'm gonna
Oh,
pan over to
bless
him real
him.
quick.
Bless him.
Yes,
Bless
yes.
him, Lord.
Good morning, good morning. We love y'all.
These travels
Love
covered
you
by the blood.
too. Traveling graces and mercies.
Thank you,
Amen.
thank you, thank you.
Good morning.
Yes, yes. Welcome, everyone.
Welcome,
Good.
welcome. It's another
And we have
day.
someone else
The
joining
Lord
us.
has
Welcome,
blessed
There
us.
we go. Good morning.
Good morning,
Hey,
Lady
Larkin.
Hello,
Larkin.
pastor and elder and my bishop and my deacon. Good morning,
thank
family.
you, thank you.
Good
Good morning,
Hey,
good morning.
Sister
morning.
Witherspoon. Hey, Jabias. I thought I saw Cheryl. Hey, Cheryl Morrison.
Yes, Cheryl Morrison and Hightower.
Hey, my high tower. And old
Yeah,
Lisa. I saw Lisa.
you know Medusa's on too. You know my buddy's on.
Yeah, that is your buddy. Travis, yes. Medusa is your buddy. You can't steal all my friends, Travis. You can't steal all of them.
I'm done. I'm done for now. Good morning,
Good
Ashley.
morning,
Hey,
Ashley.
Ashley, good
Good
morning.
morning.
Yes. So, guys, let's get started. Let's get started. It's Sunday morning. We're excited.
Absolutely.
Still bubbling from last week.
Still bubbling.
Losing over. I can see it on y'all. Just look at the glory. Just pouring
Good
out.
morning, Zenobia.
Good morning, Synovia.
All
So
right.
how do y'all
So
feel?
I feel good this morning. I feel
Okay.
all right.
Happy
Okay.
Sunday.
I feel all right.
Happy
Oh yeah.
Sunday.
How do you feel on Sunday when you were getting dressed and we're getting your garments and the ambiance and atmosphere? How did that feel?
Sunday was different. You know, I've been with the ministry since 2001. And so Sunday was different for me. Like being licensed before, yeah, but Sunday actually being officially garbed and dressed and everything, it was an emotional piece for me, but it was also a different experience for me that I can't really put into words because it was such a sacred experience for me to be dressed by my spiritual father, be dressed by my bishop. You know, it was different. And I felt the love throughout the whole service, but during that time, it was like the love of God just sat on me during that time. And I really felt like God was giving his approval, like, yeah, you've been in it, but here your father is dressing you and preparing you for not just war or battle, but preparing you for the new journey ahead. And it was just a great experience for me.
How about you, Larkin?
I had an incredible time Sunday. It was, as Elder Washington was saying, just a moment where you really just felt the love in the room. And of course, you know, coming out of a different denomination and coming into Life Empowerment, I've been with the ministry 7 years now. And just really looking back at where I was when I started to up to last week, even up to today, and just continuing to see the growth. I'm thankful that the encouragement was there, but the critique was there too, to get right, to do the things that you needed to do, to align with the will of God, to find your purpose, to find your trajectory and whatever it is that God has purposed you to do. I felt like last week was just a culmination of all of the things that we've worked to do. A lot of it people don't talk about. We don't say everything that we do when it comes to ministry. We don't talk about the times that you spend praying or in your word or doing any of that stuff, the hours that you put in, the work that you put in, and to see it culminate to the moment where the feeling of I earned something or I've worked towards something, and to have not only the approval of my bishop, but the approval of my pastor, just to see everybody in the room with so much love. I can't even begin to, I've been trying to describe it all week and I just can't. I almost passed out. I'm not going to be honest. I almost passed out because I was like, whew, okay.
Oh no, there's a picture of you. There's a picture of you just like this. Whoo, Jesus.
That's what I heard when I saw the picture too, Pastor.
There was a picture where Larkin is just like, "Ooh, wait, what is going on here?"
Yes.
Wait, what? Like, wait, what?
I get what she's saying, because there was like a moment or two that I felt like I was gonna be on the floor, because I was like, wow, like just from get ready to come out into the sanctuary, when Bishop was speaking over us and speaking into us. And he was just like, I'm not going there with you. And I'm like, not today. No, sir. But I do. Not right now. But it was like, from the moment of walking out into the sanctuary, and then the music that was being ministered at that time of holy, 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 it was just like, okay, God is really here. His train is really filling the temple right about now. And I'm doing everything. I'm trying to my best to keep standing on my own 2 feet. I don't want to be on the floor today. But it was just like, it was just like his glory was just so present in the place. It's like it was impossible for you not to be able to just give God what was due to him in that service, because he was there. If nobody else was there, the Lord was there. He was there.
He was definitely there. And
He
you know
was
what
in
else
the
was there?
building. He was in the room.
Elder Washington, your voice was there. You sung that hymn. You was up there singing, smiling. You did that. You
I
did
Now
just-
you
that.
lying that hill now.
Yeah,
Look
you
here,
did that.
I had to
church crowd.
I had to make my Baptist church. I had to.
And she was standing next to her bishop. You couldn't tell her she was standing next to her bishop. She was
I
proud.
said I was
Go
confident.
ahead.
I was confident. I was confident. Yes.
So let me ask y'all this, because it's just and I know that we and Bishop and I have talked about it, the understanding the ceremonial aspect of what we all had to, what we all went through in that moment and the preparation for that moment. How has there been how is this year, really ignited that place of now the level of service? Can y'all talk about that?
I know that once I got to the realization of how much it takes to get to these places, I would not dare waste another moment without putting myself to work, without wanting to be in service. And in our ministry, you really don't have an opportunity to not work or to not be in service, because it's our culture. It's engrafted, and it's something that all of us really share, that same embodiment of wanting to help, wanting to give, wanting to love on people, wanting to be a part of, helping people come out of their situations. And truly, we're the safe house. So a part of the safety that we create comes from those who are a part of it being in an element of service. So I know that I'm excited for, the things that we'll do this year, for the end of the year, but also going into 2023, just having service on the calendar. Those are, and not church services, but like give backs and outreach. And we've already just been talking about the things that we want to do even prior to last Sunday, what we want to do in the next year and how we want to get out into the community and continue to branch out and do those random acts of kindness, but then also without it being tangible, how do we serve? So understanding, serving in prayer, serving in intercession, serving in smiling, serving in, warm greetings and hugs and, hey, are you okay? Those kind of things is what our ministry is built on. So that service element is something that didn't have to really be taught to us, but it's something that we're a people who are susceptible to our leadership, but also we want to do the right thing. We want to make an impact, and not so that people can say, wow, Life Empowerment did this, but ultimately really so that God gets the glory.
Okay.
Yeah, and then on top of that, we were, like you said, it wasn't something necessarily taught, but it was something that was done through the example of our bishop and our pastor. They have shown us to be great examples as to be as Jesus would do, do as he would do, with serving others. He did some of the dirtiest things that some of us be like, I'm not touching nobody's feet. Who washing somebody's foot? I'm not doing that. That's nasty, but he did those things. He served. And our leaders, they do the same thing. They serve. They go out and they're there for others. They're, like you say, serve through smiling. Our pastor, she smiles all the time. Our bishop smiles all the time. And sometimes those things, something as simple as a smile or a hug or a handshake or dapping somebody, or elbow to elbow, sometimes those things brighten people's day in ways that we don't even imagine. We don't know what a person is going through. And when we're leading by example, it makes people want to be a part of something so strong that was built on a foundation of love and service. And that's the core of us, is love and service. We lead by love and through love, and that's what draws the people. Our pastor, she says it all the time, that the Bible lets us know, through love and kindness have I drawn thee. And that's what we have to do. We have to lead and show that example of love as Christ loved us, because we all at one point, and some still may be at a point now where we're a mess. We're tore up from the floor. We're crazy right about now. We don't know what we're gonna do. Somebody may not know, where their next meal may come from, or how they're gonna pay mortgage, or how they're going to get their car back on the road, or God, my kids are going crazy. I don't understand what's going on. My job is going bonkers. But because we put those deposits of love in our account, we put those deposits of service into our account, that helps God to say, hey, let me take care of my child, let me take care of my children, because we put those things out there, and we're constantly doing things through love and through service, whether it's just buying a hamburger for somebody, or giving them a bottle of water, or just giving a hug, giving a smile, or an encouraging word through text message one day, or on Facebook. You never know what a person may be in the need of, but because we lead by example, and we're leading through love, through faith, and through service, it draws people in. And that's the biggest thing with our ministry, of drawing people in through love and through service.
Travis, I got a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Because you are one of the most hardest working deacons, just people of God through service that I know. We have some amazing deacons at Life Empowerment, the Safe House. And one of the things that you and I have talked about is just really the love of the people, and the empowerment of them through knowledge. But what's some of your takeaways from this year, that has brought you, as y'all, December is almost over. But
Literally.
What's some of your takeaways, from this year, that you feel like these are the lessons that I'm mandated to carry to 2023? Good God, from Zion. Good God, Zion. Because there are some mandated lessons that we gotta carry over. Good God.
Exactly. And for me, it's just so many. But what stands out to me is strength and movement, and also I believe God. And anything I do, I trust and I believe God. No matter what the circumstance is, no matter what the situation is, it always works out for me. Number one, I believe it. I speak life. I don't speak death. I speak positivity. We have to be careful what we say out of our mouth. It's going to manifest. So sometimes you have to bring it back and let's say, you know what? I'm tripping. God, the devil's a liar. No, I'm going to speak this, because as I speak it, so shall it be. So that's one thing that I'm always critical of. And, and one thing that I also want to say is, even though Pastor said I'm one of the hardest working people, I don't really feel that, because I'm not always in service. So Sunday gave me a different perspective, because everyone who had a task was getting honored. So I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And I'm like, oh, wow, I cannot believe that, Larkin has to do this every week. And then you have to make sure you move the camera. You have to do this, do that. So it gave me a newfound respect for, even I'm not there, but how much that goes into making our ministry successful. So I want to say thank you to you all, because sometimes people may not say it. Like, we do amazing things, and you guys are awesome. And I did feel a little lost without y'all, but we made it through.
We saw you when you and Linnell walked over to that soundboard.
Yes, sir.
Looked like y'all were going to play Any, Mini, Mighty Mo.
But I figured it out. It's color coded. That's right, Larkin. I figured it out.
Did y'all see that eye that Bishop gave? Bishop gave that eye like, Going on. Larkin.
All I saw was,
yes, sir.
Yeah, but it gave me a newfound respect, and I appreciate everything you do. Because I was like this, Pastor, wasn't I? I was like, I'm going to go, but I'm not. So, but it gave me a newfound respect for that, right? And I appreciate that. And one thing that I can say about my bishop is, and I'm admit it, and God got to work on this. I'm a little judgy. I'm judgmental sometimes because when I go to church, I'm like, oh, this is not order. My pastor know anything, he knows order, and he taught us order. And we have to be grateful that we have a pastor that taught us order and a pastor that's educated and understands what it is to serve God.
Yes.
He doesn't serve himself. He's not in it to get rich. He's in it for the people.
That's
Our
it.
ministry may not be the largest ministry, but we are for the people. We will always be for the people. And that's one thing that I love and I adore and I appreciate and I highlight about us.
Yes.
Like, that's amazing because we will sacrifice for other people. And it's not even people we know, strangers. If we
That's
see
it.
someone in need, we're going to give. And one last thing, for me though, I'm not perfect, I fall, but one thing I can tell you that I'm always have been consistent in, and I know this is why God covers and protects me. You have to be faithful in your tithes and offering. And I'm not up here bragging or boasting, but I have
But it's
never
true.
missed a time of giving tithes and offering. And I'm telling you, that covering that God gives me over my life because of that is unmatched. It's no other. I have access granted when there should be no access.
Look
So
here.
give it a try. And one last thing is when I applied for a job recently and I got an email and they said, you know what, we were looking at you and another candidate. They didn't choose me. She said, we want you to be part of our team. I'm going to hire you in the summer. So this was in May. Y'all, 20 days later, God came back and said, you know what? We want you. You have the job. Are you still interested? And I didn't give up. I didn't get upset. I didn't question God. I didn't curse God. I still believe God, and he manifests as he always does. So I don't know if that answers your question because I was all over the place, Pastor, but I hope that
No,
answers
that's
your
not.
question.
It is what, but it's our ministry, and I think that is
Yeah.
one of the things that I absolutely love. I told somebody yesterday, and Larkin, you're gonna like this because they're in a mentor group and they're starting a mentor thing for young men, and I told them, I said, you don't have to have a lot to have impact. It doesn't mean that you have to do a million things at the same time for there to be an impact. And for, I believe for all of us, there is an agreement that our house has been impacted by love. You know what I'm saying? That our house has been impacted by love and by teaching. And Travis, like you said, even we have to be careful of what our responses are. Because, you know, you'll deal with some hard blows through the year, but that response of, all right, God, you got it. Because that's Travis. Travis is the one that's going to be like, I mean, the world could be on fire. And Travis is going to be the one, water's going to come in a minute.
Yeah.
God's going to make it rain. Travis, it's fire and brimstone. It's going to rain in a minute. You know, but that's Travis. Larkin and Jessica, excuse me, Evangelist and Elder.
Hey.
Talk about some of y'all talk about some of your carryover lessons.
Go ahead, Larkin. I'll let you go ahead.
Oh, I was just about to say the same thing to you, Elder. My carryover lessons for the year. You know, one of the things that really has been foundational for me this year is seeing, I can't remember who said it last Sunday, but seeing, they were talking to you, Pastor. They said, make sure that you see you the way that God sees you. And understanding, you know, that God knows everything about us. He made every part of us. He knows, you know, where we are, where we've been, and what we will do. But the love that he shows us despite anything else is enough to keep going, because I don't believe, you know, that we've come this far, we've gone anywhere for God to leave us or to forsake us. So even in the, you know, the moments where, you know, it gets hard, or the moments where we have to find the way to navigate through a situation, you know, holding on to strength and movement. And, you know, you have to be able to build strength, and you in our physical bodies, if we want to become stronger, we go to the gym and we work out, but our spirit man cannot do push-ups. Our spirit man can't do pull-ups. But we exercise our strength in that by overcoming, by continuing, by strategizing, by utilizing prayer as our foundation, and just really organizing ourselves so that we get the right result. One thing that I think you guys have unintentionally but intentionally taught this year is how to establish a trajectory. for wherever you're going, or establishing, the right path or how to get there, and understanding that, progress is progress, and where somebody may be taking one step, you may be taking four, but then next week your four steps may be down to one, and there may be 15, but you're still moving, you're still progressing, you're still getting better. It's just about not staying where you are, and really the mobility that the love of Christ creates, and the movement that purpose creates, and aligning yourself with the will of God when you do what he says and just stop resisting, or when you submit, when you give him a yes, when you hold on to it, you have to understand that he's holding on to you too. So I've been extremely encouraged by, no matter what's happening this year, and this year hasn't been a bad year, but no matter what's happened this year, whether it's been good or bad, I understand the entire time that I've been in God's hands. And even when it's bad, the bad situation has been in his hand too, but so have I. So finding the peace and understanding that my Father's always there, that God is always present, and wherever I am, he is, he will be, and he already has been. So I'm okay.
That's good. Talk about, do me a favor. Talk about that resistance piece. The resistance of, because everybody will hear, some people will hear evangelist, some people will hear deacon, some people will hear, elder, they'll hear pastor, but that resistance piece, and navigating through that.
The resistance didn't necessarily come from people. It came from me. And I had to be honest with the fact that no matter how much I tried to run, no matter how much I tried to, even when I didn't, I had purpose. God has called me. He made me. He created me with a genuine purpose in mind, just the way that we are all created to give God glory. There has been other instances where it's like, okay, well, God, this hard season, how is this giving you glory? But I'm telling you that when I stop resisting, when I stop trying to figure it out, when I stop trying to avoid, the hard times or the hard moments, or not dealing with things, there is a sobriety that resistance hinders. Because we get so caught up sometimes in trying to find a way to avoid something, that in the moment where we could actually overcome it, we're spending more time and we're exhausting ourselves because we're trying to work around it, when it's really something that's just in our path. So the resistance piece was eradicated for me when I just started living and letting God be God. And no matter what it is, no matter where it is, no matter who it is, that God is going to always be God. It doesn't matter what it is. He is always going to be God, and everything about him applies to our situation. So the goodness of God comes out of can come out of how we resist things, or when we don't. We see more of God. We see his hand on things. We see that we're in his hand. If you stop resisting, and if you just let God have his way, things will change. I'm blessed, and I don't mean tangibly. I mean, I got my right mind, and that's it. That's been the thing. I'm coming
Look here.
as a matter of fact, I'm not even going into 2023 in my right mind. No, before the end of this year, I made a vow to myself. No, I'm cool.
Yeah.
And the thing that I resist now is the thought, let this mind be in us, which is also in Christ Jesus. Finding the way to get through, finding the scriptures to navigate, finding the things to say to God to navigate. I have been more honest with God this year, and my prayers have not been the best words all the time, or the most flowery sentences. It's just been, all right, let me talk to you. And I was
That's
saying,
it.
and I know, I thought it, and I know you know what I'm about to say. However, I'm gonna say it to you so we can. And
We're on
I've
the
had
same page.
conversations with God,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
before I was resistant, because I didn't want to hear what he said. Coming back to it, I just wanted to say what I had to say, get it off my chest, and then that's it. But I never sat to listen. So I stopped resisting the response of God. And no matter what the response was, sometimes the response was not what I wanted. As a matter of fact, most of the time, the response was not what I wanted. However, I'm now standing on the other side of trusting God. It's not perfect. Every day isn't 100%, but I am standing on the other side of trusting God. And I know that we as a people and we as a church can turn around and grab other people and say, no, 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 get back up. I was just there. Might have been last year, might have been last month, it could have been last week, but I've been there. So if you can see me standing here in this, resistance has turned into evidence of what we have to do,
What?
where we.
Did you do?
So
No, we ain't gonna rush through that. We ain't gonna rush
I
through that.
turned that energy into something different. I was spending a lot of time just resisting, like I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, I don't want to do this, but it didn't matter. It's God's purpose for me. And so when I decided to give God that yes,
Okay, I'm gonna take my husband. I'm gonna pause you right there, and I'm gonna take a moment from my husband's book. I mean, if you are on this line right now, I need you to put in, I will stop resisting. I will stop resisting. I need you to put it in the chat. I mean, and when that woman of God just said my resist, Millie, did you hear that? My woohoo, and prove my case that God is with me. Lord have mercy. I just, I'll
Help
flip this call.
today. Please don't flip the call. Please don't flip the call.
Please.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Not the call.
Listen, I will flip right over here in this call, and then I will stop resisting. And that is a decision.
Yes.
That is a decision. And that is one, two people can prophesy all day long, but that is a profound place of recognition of evangelist. Ooh, Jesus. That just blessed me.
Yes.
That blessed me. Okay. All right, Elder.
That trust piece that she was talking about. Last night I made a post on Facebook about, I was doing dishes last night in the kitchen, and it came to me that I'll fight your battles if you would just trust me. And that song has been, it just been ringing in my spirit that I have to allow him to fight for me, but I have to also do something too. My part is I have to trust him. Even when I can't trace what he's about to do or what he's going to do, I have to trust him. And this year, my takeaway has been trusting God. And something that I believe Bishop said a few Sundays ago about the winds, it just resonated with me about the winds. And last night it was that the winds were going to blow in a wind for me. And that's what we all are needing going into 2023. We're needing to have that victory. We need that win. And we want the winds of change to blow on us. But we got to do some work in order to feel that wind. We got to do a little work. And so I've been trusting God. And has it been easy? No, it has not been easy. It has not always been hard either. But sometimes we tend to not want to let go of the very thing that he's trying to take from us. And we become so complacent. And so I am learning that I have to let go of some things and just trust the plan, trust the process, trust what he is already established, whether I see the establishment already or not. I have to trust God to know that he has my heart in his hands. He has my life in his hands. He knows exactly what he's going to do. He knows exactly what he wants to do. Whether I want it to happen or not, I have to trust that it's going to work out. And we tend to not want to come out of a situation because we've been stuck in that situation, or we've been stuck in the same circles for so long. Like, to be transparent, I used to be stuck in a circle of always losing my job around the same time every year. For like several years, I would lose my job around the same time. It was so crazy because Bishop would say, "Oh, you about to lose your job," and I'm like, "Man, don't be saying that. Don't tell me, don't tell me nothing like that." But it will always happen around time for elevation, ordination, life gathering. It will always happen, and I'm like, "Okay, God, why?" But when I got tired of being tired and got tired of God making a believer out of me, I decided to trust him. And I decided to do what I needed to do with putting in the work, which was go to my job and close my mouth. Do what I needed to do and allow God to fight for me. And as a result, I got out of that circle because I started trusting God instead of trusting me or instead of trusting man to do for me. And we have to get to that place of establishing that trust with God and knowing that he's going to bring us out all right. And that wind of change is going to blow us right onto the other side of inconvenience. We're going to get that victory, but we have to trust him to know that he's going to carry us through. He's going to carry us over. And I know that 2022 may have not been everything, but it was something. But I know 2023 is going to be even greater because we're going to go over into 2023 with the win. We're going to go over into 2023 with that manifestation of everything that he has promised us, that we're going to be able to have it in our hand, in our possession, in our lives. We're going to see the hand of God on our life. We're going to see the hand of him pushing and moving us, still with that strength and movement that we've gotten in 2022. And so I'm just excited about what's going to happen. I'm grateful for everything that happened in 2022 because it was a part of the process. It was a part of the plan. And I know that because we went through the process, that once we get into 2023, everything is just going to flow. As long as we continue to trust him and continue to believe the word that he has given unto us and continue to move with that strength and move with that forward movement, I know that everything is going to be exceptional in 2023. I'm excited. I'm grateful.
Travis, I got a question for you because it is, and y'all feel free to hop on and interject. But you know, one of the things that, and you and I've talked about it, I think Evangelist Larkin and I talked about it a little earlier this week as well, of the fact of having it, like Evangelist Larkin, you talked about it when you said, you know, it's not going to be tangible. It may not be tangible. What I'm going into may be the fact that I have got my peace of mind. But what I want you to tap into, Deacon Limehouse, is the aspect of maintaining it. You have consistently, since I've known you, before my husband and I got married, you have consistently spoke about your faith. You have consistently spoke about, you know, your belief that God is able and that God will. How do you maintain it? Because you know, there are moments where we will grasp, we will have a grip, and then something will cause it to dwindle down. So how do we maintain it? How do we help the people? And you know, you all definitely feel free to chime in, but how do we help the people to maintain the excitement and to be able to rest in the wind that's carrying us?
For me, how I maintain is I just think about it, look on the past, like how God has been so consistent. You have brought me through a situation. And I think about one time where I called on Bishop. I called on so many different people. Nobody was not available. And I wasted so much time. So I got on my knees and I prayed. And God was like, dummy, if you would have came to me in the beginning, you would have saved time. So we got to realize that God shed everybody that I love. They love me. They care about me. They'll do anything for me. But God blocked them from me to show that I should come to him first. And that was so powerful. And I remember that. So I humbly fall to my knees and I trust God. So my faith is get higher and higher. First of all, because I had a solid foundation. I thank God for my parents. I thank God for them putting me in the United Methodist Church. Let's give the Methodists a shout out for a second. You know, y'all speak on the Methodists, but let's give them a shout out. You know,
now I'm a good coaching girl. Now I'm a good coaching girl.
We Baptist.
You know, so We know you Baptists. We love your Baptists. But it was a solid foundation. And just being, and when I pray, I say, God, I thank you. My parents are not perfect, but for me to sit underneath them and see the things that they do. And one thing I was saying, I know I speak about tithes a lot, but I saw that from my mother and my father. So it was nothing, it was just second nature for me, right? So I had a good solid foundation. And it's critical that in anything we do, we have to have a solid foundation, right? Because if your foundation is shaky, the ground's going to fall off, right? So I always try to start with a solid foundation. But I just look back at what God has brought me through, and I know, you know what? If I don't have faith, I'm a little wary. My outcome's going to be wary. But when I believe and I speak it, it comes to pass. So to me, it's just common sense. Like every time I do something, I get this result. Every time I do something, I get that result. So let's go to the result that's going to produce what I want. And that's having faith and trust in God. And don't doubt God, because sometimes we get discouraged, but you know, God's going to close that opportunity down to give you something bigger and better. And I don't think sometimes I don't like oh my God, I didn't get this. I'm so sad. I'm so depressed. No, it's okay. You know what? That wasn't for me. God got something better. I got something different. And also what I do is I celebrate. When Elder Washington wins, guess what? I'm going to celebrate because I know if she wins, I'm going to win. When Evangelist Cooks, when Larkin wins, I'm going to win. And I get so excited when the Gibbs win, we all win. And that's my family. Not that that's just my pastor, but that's my best friend. And I'm so grateful to God that he has brought, and I'm going to shift a little bit, he has brought the new pastor, his wife and first lady into his life. Because it's such an amazing feeling when you don't have to fake anything, when you're genuinely happy, when you love somebody, when you can talk to them I can talk to the pastor without talking to the bishop. We have our own friendship and our own bond. We can connect with one another. So I just thank God that it's not forced, because sometimes we have to respect people just because they're related or they're connected to people we respect. But in this time, it's a genuine love and genuine respect. And I can just see when Pastor Chandler, Mike Pearson Gibbs came into the ministry, it just changed everything. It just, you know what? We were already great, but God gave us a different, like a more grace, a different ambiance, like a breath of fresh air. And we have to appreciate that. I thank God for that, because at the end of the day, things have changed so much. But for us, it's like less is more. We don't have to do all that. But we have the solid foundation is love, like we speak on. And one thing though I like about us is we can hold each other accountable, and we don't get upset. We don't get upset because guess what? This is God, you know, and we have to have order. And I love that we can have those conversations. We can have hard conversations. We don't run from hard conversations, because as adults, we have to do that. And if you want to build a kingdom, you have to have it. You can't run from it. So, and also, can I talk about our conversation Monday morning, Pastor? Can I talk about our conversation Monday? You want to wait?
Yes, you can.
Listen.
Well, let's talk about it in the fact of announcing that is a phase that we're going to enter into.
Okay. So on Monday morning, Pastor text me, said, can you call me when you get up? And I called her. And when I tell you what we talked about, I was smiling. Sometimes when I get a task, I'll be like, oh, I don't want to do this. Like, here we go again. But this one, I was smiling. It was oozing off me. So for 2023, we have something amazing in store. So your pastor and I, we will sponsor this, but we are going to make sure everyone is financially fit to accomplish each and every goal that you want. So we have so many different workshops that we're going to do. Each month, we're going to focus on something new. So January, we're going to get the foundation. Like we say, you have to have a solid foundation. So we're going to tap into that. We're going to make sure everybody understands the importance of tithing, right? And then each month, we're going to build upon it, and we're going to educate the people to get them where they need to be. So, and even if there's something we're not giving you guys, if you need it, let us know, because guess what? When you have somebody in your circle that knows something, we need to share it. I love sharing opportunities. So when she told me about what we're going to do financially for the ministry and for the people, I just was smiling, and just to see, I cannot wait till the end of 2023 to see how many homeowners we have and multiple homeowners, because I want more properties. I want residual income. I want that income to come in every month when I'm not doing anything. So I'm excited to bring this to you guys, and it's going to be amazing. I'm not just saying that because it's me and her, but it's literally going to be amazing. I don't know, Pastor, if you want to add a little bit to it, but I'm excited.
I do want to add, and if you all, and he will be, Deacon Limehouse is, I mean, he is a finance guru, has access to different finances. And so if there are areas, if this is the year that you're like, okay, 2023, I want to buy my home, or I want to start my college fund for my children, or I want to learn more about stocks and bonds. I want to make sure, just like and I believe you said it, Larkin, with that spiritual wellness, I also want to make sure that there's that financial wellness, because one thing about life empowerment is we deal with the whole person. Now I'm going to toot our horn on that one. We deal with the whole entire person. And so Bishop was like, yes, y'all have at it. And so if there are certain areas of finance that you want to be more equipped in, if you want to, just like, hey, I know it, but I need to understand it more, I want you to inbox us. I want you to inbox. You can call him, Deacon Limehouse, directly. You can get it's going to be fun. It's going to be engaging, because at the end of, absolutely, Jennifer, that God will promise, but we've got to have the resource. We've got to have those resources and the integrity, good God from Zion, of our resource, the integrity of our resource and how we maintain. Exactly, Lisa. And so we take care of the whole person. What does that look like? What does that look like? That I've got, I can speak in tongues, but I can't get nothing. I can pray for you, but I don't have access. And so, these lessons and these, and Larkin, Jessica, Travis was intentional. There will be components that we will do for our youth, so that we're not waiting until they're 19 and 20 and 25, but they will start understanding the importance of finance. They'll understand the importance of having a savings and a checking account and those different things. And so that is one of the things that I celebrate in the aspect of we have to be forward thinking and be able to teach from a place of what we may not have had.
Absolutely.
That's good. That's good.
Because sometimes, y'all, we'll have a lesson, but then we'll learn from the lesson, but we will learn from the lesson, but forget to teach from it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Brittany, there are some lessons that we are mandated to teach from. Lisa, there are some lessons that we are mandated to teach from, so that it does not become a generational cycle. Some generational cycles have remained, not because you didn't do something right. It's because you didn't teach from what you knew. I'm just saying what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're saying what you're saying.
You're saying the truth is what you're saying. 100. Drop your mic, because you just said it.
Done. Walk off.
I'm just saying what I'm saying. And so it's those things are important to me. So Larkin, because we're almost at 11. So Larkin and Jessica, please tell us how you plan to, those lessons of maintaining this place and maintaining this momentum, because I do believe with everything in me that there is a wind that has come through our house. I believe that there is a wind that has come through us to reignite. I believe that there's been a reignition of passion, of purpose, of destiny. But how are we going to intentionally maintain what we have?
I plan to focus more on, just really having a renewed focus and looking at one of the things that I've just personally been talking about, even at work, is understanding what we do with our result in mind. So if I want to show God that I do trust him every time that I have the opportunity to trust him, I'm not going to miss it. I'm looking for ways to exercise what I've gone through. And I'm looking for ways to be an example about how to maintain, and how one of the biggest lessons I've had to learn recently is how you do not respond. Sometimes you just can't.
Absolutely. I'm learning that too.
That has caused me to mature, not even just spiritually, but just outside of church. There are so many lessons that I have learned in church. And a lot of times, one of the things that I was talking about this week was how, we'll sing a song and we won't listen to the words. But we'll know the song front to back, but we won't listen to the words. And of course, weapons are going to form. Absolutely. The song does say it won't prosper, but we miss out on the fact that we're saying the weapon forms. how do we know that it's a weapon unless it's utilized, unless we see that that's the function? So understanding the importance and the functionality of everything that God allows, and knowing that things happen, that everything is in the plan of God, everything is on the mind of God, and if it happens, God does it, he allows it to be permissible. So I'm finishing this year and going into the next year really with a renewed focus on results. I want to see things happen for me, for my family, for my friends, for my church, for everybody. I want to see things happen. So I am really standing in the place of knowing that if I maintain a focus, I don't have time to respond to anything else. If it's not going to be productive to me, if it's not going to allow me to grow, if it's not going to allow me to strengthen and exercise where I am in God or where I want to go, then I'm absolutely not going to give it any kind of energy. I've got too much work to do to lose focus, because I have before. And I don't want, especially with doing something like working with youth, you don't ever want to miss an opportunity to be impactful. So you don't want to miss the chance to be sensitive enough to the child not smiling that normally does. It's the renewed focus. It's identifying things around you and having that open mind, having open vision to what it is, to the ways that God can use you and to the ways that you can see God, not boxing God into the things that we're used to, but allowing him to be everywhere and in everything, because he is all things. So I've come to a new understanding of who God is. And so now that has realigned and adjusted my focus to help me get through the next year.
All right, Elder Washington.
I would say for me, strengthening my relationships. And I renewed my relationship. I gave God my yes again. My mom says something all the time, that whatever you do for the master, let it be real. She told me that when I first said that God called me to preach. And that thing really hit me this year, the closer we got to last Sunday. And so my commitment is to renew my relationship, my covenant with God, but also to strengthen that relationship through making sure I'm doing what I need to do by reading more, by making sure my prayer relationship is more intact, making sure, like how everyone has said, paying attention to what I speak, and not always responding the way that people are probably expecting Washington to respond, because most people know Washington can be a loose cannon, but Washington has been learning this year not to be as loose and to speak more life into people and to situations versus always speaking so negatively. So my thing with maintaining would be to continue to find the good in every situation, and not always look for the bad. Even if the situation may look dim or the situation may look bad, but always look for the good and to speak life. So for me to maintain, I have to make sure my vow is renewed to the Lord, make sure my relationship is strengthened, make sure that I keep that intimacy between me and God, and to allow him to take full control and put me out of the way and allow him to take full course, to keep me together so that I can keep others together, because I am in the lives of young people every day, and they're at that age of 2 years old where they're soaking up everything like a sponge. So I have to watch how I speak to them. I can't just yell at them. I can't just always have my voice elevated. I got to make sure that I speak to where they can hear, but yet understand what it is that I'm saying. So this year is about making sure that I am really ministering to these children on the level that they can understand, but also to minister to their families as well, because they trust me as I trust God. So I have to make sure that I keep that momentum of staying in the right path and allowing God to lead, guide, and direct my every footstep.
So as we Travis, as we begin to close in on this hour of power.
Praise God. Praise God. Praise God. Our power. I love it.
Oh, this hour of power. I want you all to, and those while we're talking, definitely, you don't have to put the flyer up yet, Travis, but they can go ahead and start getting in their minds to prepare to sow in Jabias. If you can go ahead and Minister Jabias, if you can go ahead and send out the text notification reminder. But what would be the encouragement? I really want, because we have people that are members of our church, that are friends of our church, that's just like, you know what? Hey, I'm passing through. Let me just click on and see what they're saying. So as we close out this moment of sharing, what are some things that you would give us, one or two things to encourage the people for this week and the weeks to come?
You said starting off with me, right?
However y'all started off.
I've been talking about it all day. Faith. Believe. When everything looks impossible, believe. Know that it will happen because it can happen. God shows us time and time over and over again that it will happen. Do not let no one or nobody have your faith be moved or shaken at all. And also be grateful and thankful. When you're feeling down, when you get discouraged, God, I can walk. God, I can talk. God, I can move my legs. God, I have a sound mind. God, I may not have the car that I want. I may not live where I'm at, but I'm not homeless. So don't forget to be grateful for the small things, because sometimes I think it's a slap in God's face when we are ungrateful because we didn't get the job we wanted, but you are in a much better situation than so many people. So just be grateful and appreciative for what you have and continue to have faith and push forward. Don't let no one discourage you or take your dreams away from you. But you know what? Sometimes I love when people do that because I want to prove them wrong and show them how God is awesome and amazing.
Awesome.
I love it.
That's my Travis. Jessica?
I love it. Just adding on to faith, trust God. Trust him when you can't trace some children. Trust him. Trust him. Trust and believe that he will make everything all right. Trust him to know that no matter what it looks like now, it won't always be like this. Always. It's got to get better. Things are going to get better. And as they get better, you will get better and you will build your faith in God. You will build your trust in him. And you just got to keep your hand in his hand. That's what the Baptists say. Keep your hands in the master's hand. Please keep your hands in his hand. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Larkin?
I would just say that, from a place of encouragement, if we understand who God is, if he is the beginning and the end, he's the Alpha and the Omega, that, if he's the end cap, then whatever's in the middle is you're covered.
Mm-hmm.
So, nobody told me the road would be easy, but I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me. And
come on.
No matter what's happened, no matter where we've been, no matter what will happen, because things are going to happen. That's just a part of life. It's a part of why we were created. But find the way, find the result, and hold on to it long enough. Stick in the race long enough so that you can see why you went through. I'm telling you that there's such an energy that seeing the result that it comes with. It reignites you. It gives you life. It gives you, the way to even draw other people into Christ. So understand that you're covered. We serve a God who is Alpha and Omega. And so everything that's orchestrated or everything that happens, he's already in control of it. He knows what's going to happen. He knows the foundation. He knows the function. So hold on to his hand. Understand that you're in his hand. Don't try to not be. We get frustrated sometimes and we want to walk away from it. But I'm telling you, if you hold on to God's unchanging hand, you will see the sure sign of the Lord.
I absolutely love it. Bishop is over here driving, but he is a proud, I believe he's had several emotional moments as he's been driving, but on behalf of us, to Life Empowerment. These are for those that just happen to hop on. This is absolutely, Jennifer, that's what they have done. This is a portion of our leadership. You have Deacon Limehouse, you have Elder Washington. This is Evangelist Larkin. that's on, and we have several other of our leaders that they have been present. Minister Jabias, Minister Green, Elder Taft, our hospitality. I saw Sister Purdy on here. It's important and it's imperative that we hear and that you hear us say thank you. Thank you to each and every last one of you for who you are to us personally and who you are to the Safe House. Jessica, Travis, Larkin, thank you for this moment of encouraging the people, because I do believe that strength came to the house this morning. I do believe that there are those that felt the encouragement, that felt like, okay, I can do it. And one of the things that I think resonates with me, that we are honored about, is that people know you can come to the Safe House and be safe and be loved. Be safe, and we understand that love is patient, it's kind, it covers, it allows us, it lifts. Love lifts, and I do believe that love continues to lift us. And so thank you all, and I want you all to know that as your pastor. But
There you go. Say it again. Say it again. Say it again. Say it again.
It's your pastor. That is so. Y'all, I gotta get used to that. But it's your pastor. Thank you for your service, and thank you for your heart of ministry. I honor, Travis and Novi. While we've been doing this live thing, y'all have rocked with us, that in this entire time. And so I want to make sure that we do take a moment to do that. You all, it's our time to give. It is our time to sow. And so we have several ways that you can give. If you would like to pay by credit card and you're like, okay, I need to call somebody, then you can reach out to us at 980-477-5372. If it is that it is your tithing period, I want to encourage you to be obedient in your tithing, to give your 10%. As Deacon Limehouse talked about, we will do a series to really delve into tithing. But if this is your tithing, I want you to make sure that you are intentional about your obedience. Good God from Zion, to be intentional about your sowing. If this is not your tithing period, but it is, hey, I know that this is good ground. This has proven to be good ground. This ground has proven to yield harvest after harvest after harvest and not get tired. Good God. God, I thank you. All right. So if you would like to sow, you can sow in our Cash App, $ the Safe House. And we will pray over your seeds. And we are thankful for your intentionality in your giving, because I do believe that your sowing has helped us to serve our community. We will be doing another endeavor. I'm excited about it. Evangelist Larkin will be talking about that a little bit more in a few more Sundays. But we are excited about an initiative that we're going to be doing in January to again serve the people. And we are thankful for them. To all of you that have visited with us, shared with us, joined on with us today, we are thankful for you. Wednesday morning at 6:45. Wednesday morning at 6:45 a.m. We will be in prayer. This past Wednesday, God allowed me to hop on and share, and I do believe that there was a wind that came through that moment. But I have just been encouraged by our 6:45 times on Wednesdays. I really believe because we have been consistent with that time, and we have been consistent with those Wednesday mornings, that God has been consistently blessing us and opening up his windows and pouring blessings upon us and giving us strength to remain. Amen. If it is that you would like to be a part of our social media, if it is that you would want to be a part of the social media aspect of our ministry. As we go into 2023, we are looking to expand. We are looking to revamp. We are looking to do some different things. So if it is, hey, elder, hey, pastor, hey, bishop, I'm not necessarily one for the mic, but if you give me a camera, or if you give me the flyers, if you let me do social media, then that is where I am gifted and I would like to serve. Please reach out to our administration team. You can inbox us. You can reach out to us directly, and so that we can put our hands to work, because what we are is a working ministry. We are a working ministry. Is there anything, Bishop, that you would have me? Well, I believe that that's it. Travis, is that all of the announcements? I don't think I missed anything.
No, I don't think you missed anything, Pastor.
We are also a ministry that loves to have fun and loves to laugh. And
Yes.
The Father has been kind.
The Father has been kind to us.
And
we and I want us to be intentional. You heard us say it. You heard us say it over and over again this morning. But I want us to make sure that we are being very intentional this week about being love in the earth. It's one thing to talk about it, but it's another thing to experience love in the earth. And so be intentional about being that place of love. We are continually praying for the Pinckney family. We are continually praying for the Cox family. And we are praying for one another. And so the Witherspoon family, Prissy, we are calling their names out in prayer, because what we do know is that prayer works. We are praying for Lisa. And we believe in the power of prayer, because what I do know is that heaven responds.
Yes.
What I do know is that heaven hears our house. I do know that without a shadow of a doubt in my mind, that heaven hears us and heaven answers, and he answers on our behalf. So we love you. We thank God for you. Have an amazing week. And Travis, I believe that's it. You can take us on out. Be blessed and go in the mercy and